Alright, video game warriors, welcome back to our Lies of P comprehensive walkthrough series. Hopefully you're doing alright. This is episode 7. Let's get cracking through because we got a lot to do. So first of all, from the boss arena here, we're going to use the Stargazer to go back to this one, St. Frangelico Cathedral Library. So let's head there. So this will wrap up one of the quest lines that we started in the previous episode, which will grab us a gesture. So we've got to head back and grab that. And we can also do some cool stuff with the gesture as well. So we shall do that. We've got a few bits and bobs to wrap up. So head back here, grab this letter which gets us a record and the letter. So open the letter, read it, or at least go over to page 3. That gets us the pray gesture, so we got to grab that. And we've also got the divine service record, like I say. So we can do something quite cool with this gesture. So if we head back to, I believe it's this one here, St. Frangelico Cathedral Chapel. So we're going to head on back here. And what we're going to be doing is using the gesture in just a sec. This will grab us some humanity points. So, like I mentioned in the previous episodes, this playthrough is going to be bagging us the highest possible humanity points that we can get our hands on. So to do that, we're going to backtrack a little bit with our new gesture and use it at this statue up here. Don't forget that you can use the records and stuff at the hotel, so make sure to listen to the records all the way through from start to finish. That will grab you some humanity as well. So if you are following along and going for the maximum humanity, make sure to be doing that. So at this statue here, it says pray. So we can actually go to the gestures, which are here. And we've got pray, use that bad boy. Pop a quick pray. Give it some time to cook. Then we get the ergo is whispering. So humanity points gained there. So that is that one. There's a couple of other bits and bobs that we can do if we want to wrap up some things here. We've got a portrait coming on up that we need to grab as well. So let's head and grab that. That's in the Malum district. So let's push on. In fact, you can do a little extra NPC thing here as well. So it's probably worth grabbing this at this point. So you can go back to Path of Misery. You don't really have to do this if you don't want to, but you can get, like, I think it's an accessory or something. Some kind of like costume or head gear of some kind if you want to do this. So we've gone back to Path of Misery, ergo fragment tucked away behind there, and you can head back down here and it can trigger the NPC fight. So in I think it was the previous episode or perhaps the one before that actually, where we did an emote or a gesture to this NPC down here, and it let us choose the lie option. So we chose the lie option, and then you can basically just bypass this NPC completely. But at this point in the game, if you head back down here, you can actually fight this NPC, and to my knowledge it doesn't lose humanity points or anything like that, as far as I'm aware. And you can get like a mask from doing this fight. So with the power of video editing, we'll fast forward down to the bottom of this section. Alright, and here we are. So we're going to head on out. As far as my memory goes here, this NPC will attack straight away. They call us a liar. So I'm going to use the flame on grindstone to sort of like get ready for this fight. Let's jump into it. There we go, yeah. Falling for a puppet's trick. So, can be a little bit of a spicy one, but ideally we just want to set them on fire That's the idea here. So we'll go for a few fire pokes. Try for a charged. I believe we can set them on fire. Yes, we got there eventually. It's just took a while. Going back up there, try for a charged. Ideally, I'd like to try and break the stance if possible, but that's proving difficult. And just as I said that, we got the stance break there. Yeah, so nothing too crazy with this fight, really. Just try and just be careful of getting decay cast on you there. So we get the Atone's Mask and 2000 Ergo. So nothing too crazy with that, but if you want the mask and you want the Ergo, feel free to grab that. Don't forget with the rapier, if you are using a rapier as well, you can sort of like you can press circle to backstep and then press R1 to do a quick poke. So you can kind of do like a fencing type maneuver there with that. So we've defeated the boss of the previous place, which basically that will have a knock-on effect to the hotel. So the game's code is going to be updated to say, you know, trigger the next phase of the game. So make sure to pop back to the hotel and grab all the bits and bobs and exhaust the dialogue as we normally do. You know the drill by now, so let's just smash on through all this dialogue. We'll keep Flame Grindstone on for now. Not sure if Geppetto will have anything to say. Let's have a little look-ski. Once again, just drop into the training arena and just stand still for a sec to refill your Fable bars as per usual. Let's see if we can get any upgrades. Rapier is +5. It cannot go to +6. That's cool. Let's leave it like that for now. Don't forget we altered the handle as well to be a technique type handle. So you do want to be doing that if you're following along with this. So our technique is currently A on the weapon. It's got a rank of A. Other than that, I don't think there's much more we can do here. We've got other dialogues. Yada yada yada. We can get 4 levels up. We've got Sophia, who's got some blue butterflies. So nothing too crazy there. Let's have a look at Antonia. Don't think she has anything extra here. No, that's fine. People have no idea. So many secrets are buried in Quartz. Okay, so let's crack on. So we're guided by the blue butterflies here. So we're going to talk to Sophia. The cathedral's safe. Once again, just smash through. You know the drill. That'll do. We can get some levels up, but I'll just leave that for a sec and come back to it. We can pump out 4 levels. But we'll come back to that a little bit later. Let's just see if Geppetto's got anything to say. We also need to go and wrap up the Alidoro stuff in a sec. So Geppetto, I think he did say something extra there. We got like an autosave triggered in the top right. So keep your eyes peeled for the autosave. Basically, if that pops up in the top right, it just means that something has happened, or the game's code has like registered something has happened. So we got that there. City of Quartz. Oh, we remember. Nice one. So I think that's all there is there. We also need to talk to Alidoro. So let's go do that. We've got updated boss rematch. So if we go back to Workshop Union entrance, let's head on there. If you remember in the previous episode, I think it was the previous, we lied to Alidoro and said to go that a safe place was Vanini Works, which obviously was a massive lie. So we're going to lie again. So once again, if you want to be racking up the humanity points, make sure to choose the lie option here. So if you just head up the stairs, talk to Alidoro, be careful not to spam because the lie is coming up. We want to say the safe place is Elysium Boulevard, which is the lie here.
Nice try, but I've been there already and I know better.
So he says, nice try.
I shall show you mercy.
Okay, so we got the Ergo is whispering. We've gained some humanity points.
You tricked me with your lie. But I'm no stranger. Remember, you
Exhaust dialogue as per.
tricked me. But remember,
So he says, you tricked me with your lie.
you tricked me with your lie. But remember, you tricked me with your lie. But I'm no stranger. Remember.
Okay, so cool. That's that. So as you start to walk away, he says, it seems the hotel is the only other option. Blah, 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 blah. So that is that. I think that might actually trigger him to go to the hotel straight away. So you can chat to him there. Once again, with the boss weapons that we get from Alidoro, I tend to go for... Well, I don't really use a lot of stuff from there. I buy, I think, one boss weapon and maybe a couple of amulets. There is one specific amulet that I buy that is like super useful and I use all the way through the entire game, basically. So we can head back to the hotel, talk to Alidoro if you want to. You can get some bits and bobs from him. I'll leave it for now. But we will be buying this bad boy a little bit later, I think. So it has a chance of non being consumed when using a pulse cell. But for now, we'll just leave that. And we've got 4 levels that we can grab. Don't forget that I mentioned if you're going for all special weapons in one playthrough, you will have to buy every single one of the boss weapons from Alidoro because they're classed as special weapons. But just keep in mind that you have to play this game 3 times. Let's go back to Archbishop's altar. Yeah, just keep in mind that you have to play this game like 3 times to get 100%. So, because there's 3 different endings, so you're going to have to play it through 3 times anyway. So, you know, one time you might want to go for like all amulets. One time you might want to go for all boss weapons. And then the 3rd time you might want to go for like a mixture or whatever's left type thing. Choice is yours. Other than that, I think this area is kind of like a filler area, or it's like a connector area. Let's head on down here. Make sure to let me know, Video Game Warriors, in the comments how you're getting on with Lies of P yourself. Is it your first time playing Lies of P? Is it your first Souls-like? I actually think this game is a super good entry into Souls-likes. So if anyone is thinking about getting into Souls-likes or wanted to try them, I actually think this game is a very, very good entry into Souls-likes. For various reasons. Like, one is that watch out for traps in this area, by the way. I'm definitely going to stand in a trap. I know I've just said that, but I'm probably going to stand in a trap. So just watch out for the traps there. But yeah, I think this game is a good entry into Souls-likes because it's got like the difficulty setting as well. It didn't have the difficulty setting at first. I'm going to grab this smiling bunny mark here. This is quite important for some reason. I can't remember what it is, but it's important. This is also where you will access the DLC a little bit later, so we will be covering the DLC. And we will get access to the DLC a little bit later, but I'm not going to drop into it until quite late game. That's for various reasons, because we've got like there's a farming spot coming up where you can farm loads of Ergo if you want to. And I think it's a good idea to sort of like unlock that farming spot first. Is there anything behind these? Yes. Gemini's emergency protection. But yeah, I think it's a good idea to sort of... I think there's something that jumps out here, yeah. Keep losing my train of thought with that. I think it's a good idea to unlock the farming area if you need to farm. Especially for the DLC, because the DLC can be quite brutal. There's a trap, I knew it was going to happen at some point. Watch out for an enemy that drops down here. There we go. As you go for the treasure chest. Yeah, the DLC can be quite rough, and especially the last boss of the DLC. We've also got a normal weapon there, which was the acid spear, which is really good. But yeah, we'll unlock that farming section a little bit later. I think another reason it's good as a Souls-like entry game is because, like, let's be careful here. Didn't expect the additional dog to join us. Is because it's quite good at giving like decent tool tips. We're going to use the fire flame on here for this bear. So like when you're picking things up in the game, like key items and stuff, it's quite decent at giving hints and tips on like where to go or where to use a thing or how to do a thing and things like that. So there I just used the Fable attack and used a charged R2. We enter this place with the fire grindstone, which is like super useful against the carcass type enemies. So ideally you want to be having like the fire grindstone on in this section. Watch out for the traps again. I think there's one that I usually stand in around here as well. We need to check our amulets at some point as well. Make sure we're rocking the right amulets. Vivid Ergo Fragment. This section is just like the top bit where the bear sort of like walked over the top, so just going to head down here. I think there's another big carcass enemy coming up quite soon. Memory serves. More reasons it's good as a Souls-like entry game. It's obviously it's got the difficulty setting like I mentioned. You can change it from like the like I guess hard, medium, and easy whenever you want to, and there's like no downside to doing that at all. Although it might hurt your gaming pride a little bit, or your gaming ego a little bit if you drop the difficulty down, but it doesn't affect anything else in the game. Is this the bit where... No, it's a little bit later, I think. I think a few enemies will jump us here, so you got to be careful-ish. Just give them the old one too. It's also got that setting where you can kind of like... not auto aim, but it's kind of got like a aim attack assist to some degree. This enemy can be quite a beast, so I'm just going to take out the ads first, then focus on the beastie one. Just going to do R1, back up, so back up, R1, back up, try and get some little pokes here and there. We could ideally do with breaking this guy's stance, to be fair, but there we go. So it's got the attack assist thing in the settings, so don't forget about that. And it also does a really good job of like character building and sort of like relationships between the player and the NPCs, especially in the DLC. Like the DLC is very good, and the story is like super good. They've done a very good job with that, especially like making you as the player feel quite close to Leia, the NPC that's kind of by your side all the way through the DLC, or kind of by your side in terms of the story anyway. But yeah, I'm excited to drop into the DLC stuff. It's really it's good stuff. So this area of the game is basically just a connector area. It kind of connects us to the little town thing that's coming up in a sec. Just trying to scan my brain here for what's knocking around in this section. I think we have a big enemy, yeah, that jumps through there. We might have some stuff up there, but I think that's later on. So for now, we'll just... we could grab a shortcut, I think, so I'll grab that shortcut in just a sec. Give these guys the old one too. Got 3 pulse cells remaining. I forgot to pump out some levels. So I need to do that. Fire abrasive in here. I don't know if there's... I'm not sure if there's anything else in here or just the fire abrasive. That's a hint about something a little bit later. So yeah, what we'll do, we'll grab this shortcut. There is quite a beastie enemy coming on up in a sec. We can grab something from there, which we will do in a sec. It's probably a good idea if we kind of like recharge the fire grindstone thing, so we will recharge that. Grab this shortcut. Also, I know I keep talking about DLC here, but it's really, really fun. I think the level design in the DLC is very good as well. You go to like a little circus thing and a zoo. It's just really fun. So Hotel Quartz, we could do something there. We should probably also pump out a couple of levels. We got 5. So I generally bring these up together. Vitality, vigor, capacity, and technique. So I generally kind of try to bring those up. With capacity, it kind of depends on the percentage up the top, the carry weight percentage. So right now it's 41%. So that's not too bad. So I don't really need to bring up capacity right now. So I'll just focus on other stuff instead. So vitality and vigor. But if the capacity percentage, if the carry weight percentage like starts to go too high, I'll start to pump some points into capacity instead. If that makes sense. So that'll do. I'll do for now. Let's go take out this enemy down here. And we need to remember that we've got to head back to Hotel Quartz. We've got the butler puppet. So on this bit, if you just want to push forward or run forward, there's an extra item knocking about somewhere. So you can grab that. Upgrade material. If you fancy it, you can try and do some parkour, which sometimes works. You can jump on here. Give that enemy the drop down attack. The parkour attack there. I'm going to take out these ads on purpose because what can happen is when you start fighting this big enemy down here, the ads can sometimes join in, which is not good. It's not so fun for us, so we'll take them out first. This guy's having a bit of a rest down here. So yeah, just prepare yourself. Pop up the durability flame on as per the special grindstone. This one can be a little bit rough, so I'm probably going to use Fable attack to start off with here. Charged R2, charged R2. He's on fire, that's good. So you'll see that his health is kind of ticking on down with the flame on, which is good. Ideally, I want to try and break his stance, but he's quite a fast one. I think we've been hit by every attack so far, which is not ideal. We'll try for a charged R2. Be careful of stamina here. Go back up. Back for a charged R2. I don't know if charge is going to be the best option here. So go for the standard pokes. That'll do. Slum Shack Key. I cannot remember exactly which one that's for. I think it's right behind us. So against those enemies there, fire is your best friend. So if you've got... I wouldn't necessarily use fire throwables on that guy. And I wouldn't use the fire abrasive consumables. But definitely, if you've got like the flame arm, that can be quite useful. I think we get this one... this treasure chest a little bit later. So there is a treasure chest you can see in there, but just hang fire on that one for now. We'll come back to it. I've got a straggler. Take them out. The Slum Shack key, I think it's this one here. There's 2 enemies knocking about, just chilling inside, if memory serves. Give them the old one too. Yeah, but that enemy can be quite beastly, so just be careful with that big one. Corrosion resistance. Let's have a look what we got. What else we got here? So everything up on that one, which seems quite good. Apart from carry weight goes up a little bit, but that's not too bad. But everything else is blue, so everything else increases, so you know that's good. What we've got on here, reduces damage from piercing attacks on the liner. I'm going to put that onto reduces damage from slash attacks. Although, in fact, I changed my mind. I'm going to put it on resistance to strike attacks. The strike attacks are more like hammers, fists, things like that. And I think a lot of enemies in this section kind of attack with the hands. So probably strike is a good one to go for here. Other than that, this section is, like I say, just a connector area really. Lots of slicing and dicing. Nothing too wild. But yeah, if you've got any questions and stuff about Lies of P so far, feel free to let us know in the comments. Video Game Warriors, you know, let us know how you're getting on and stuff. Hopefully you're enjoying your Lies of P playthrough. What's really cool about this is, I'm not sure if it has actually 100% been announced, but I think they're lining up for a second game, the Lies of P2, which would be cool. Quite like the sort of like fairy tale aspect of these games. There's lots of references to fairy tale characters and stuff like that. Just going to check there's nothing there. Grab this saw blade. We might use that in a sec. There's quite a big, beefy enemy coming on up in a sec. So we could ideally do with fire here, but it's all good. Might use a fire abrasive. Depends how the fight goes. We've only got 2 pulse cells, so I might fall back onto a fire abrasive here to make this easier. We'll see how it goes. I might also pop a Fable Catalyst for this one. In fact, I will pop a Fable Catalyst. Out the charge. Just going to dodge to the side for that. Charged attack into a Fable. Into a charged. Stance break. Nice. A couple of cheeky pokes. And critical strike. Okay, not too shabby. There we go. Just taking a bit of a rest against the wall there. We'll leave him to it. So what helped massively with that enemy there was essentially the Fable Arts attack, so that's why I used the Fable Catalyst to get ready for it. Just going to spam through that. Okay, so this section here is we're kind of like entering the, I guess, town area or like village, wherever it is. I can't remember. I think the way to go here is down, which means we got to go up. Let's take a little gander. Gotta be careful. Balancing act as per usual. We'll grab that resistance ampule. I feel like Souls games and Souls-like games always have one of these sort of like drop down, try not to fall to your doom type sections in the games. So there's one in Bloodborne. Let me know in the comments if you played Bloodborne. Fantastic game. 10 years old now, that is. 10 years. So this is very, very similar to Bloodborne, this section here. There's one in Elden Ring. If you played Elden Ring, there's like a drop-down section in that, which is... it's quite rough, to be totally honest. That particular one is very rough. It's like in the... I think it's in the capital city. Or underneath the capital city of Lanedell. Okay. So, We've worked our way through to this sort of like town place. We've got quite a rough boss fight coming on up. We also have a riddle coming on up from the King of Riddles. Got to drop back to Hotel Quartz as well. You can spam through these NPCs. Just make sure we exhaust all this dialogue. We're going to accept the offer here. Though I don't really know what difference that might make on accept or refuse. So that's that. That's a shortcut for later. We'll grab that in just a sec. We'll leave Hotel Quartz for now, but we'll need to pop back to it at some point. This bit is essentially a slice and dice. Just trying to think what enemies we fight. I think it's Carcass. Yeah, let's go for it. So on this bit you have the NPCs follow you through. Well, you do, at least if you press accept offer anyway. So we're going to slice and dice through. Give this one the old cheeky backstab. Let's grab all this stuff. I think there were some ladders at some point, or maybe... Ah, yes. I was going to say, like, somewhere in my brain's database, it was like there was some kind of ladder with something up the top of it. So we'll grab that. We've recharged R2. This one can be a little bit spicy, so just watch out. Got quite a large health pool. Try for charged. A fatal. That'll do. Star fragment, something tucked away behind there. A little section we can do here. There's like a drop down round to this shortcut. So just make sure to sort of like go around the sides of that bit. Don't go straight forward, otherwise this will happen. You'll just drop down. What else we got here? A little bit of slice and dicing. I do hope we get a Lies of P2, although it might not actually be called Lies of P2. I don't really know what it'll be called as such, but I guess we'll find out. But yeah, let me know in the comments if you do keep up with the developers' social media accounts. I'm sure they've probably announced somewhere if they're going to do Lies of P2. I'm going to skip through that. I think that's all there is in that section. This upcoming boss fight as well can be a little bit rough. I'm not gonna lie to you, because you have to fight. It's called like the eldest of the Black Rabbit Brotherhood, if I'm not mistaken. And technically speaking, you just need to only defeat the eldest, not the ads, but the others do join a fight, unfortunately. So at this point, yeah, these NPCs just chill. I don't think you can really talk to them or anything. They just kind of wait there. That's that. We'll crack on forward. I think we've got a riddle coming on up quite soon-ish. Then we've got a quartz to get. There's a crank there. I think you can do a drop down. So let's get the drop on this one. This can be a little bit crazy in here, so I'm going to just get the durability up and get ready to do some slice and dicing. What I tend to find is a bit easier here is to heading on up to the rooftops first, which is it's kind of like run up to these ladders first, and there's a bunch of stuff that happens. We get a dimensional butterfly, which can be a bit tricky to get because we've got an enemy throwing stuff at us at the same time. I'm not sure if we can get this enemy before the butterfly spawns. Apparently we can. Cool. So we'll get them. Be careful of the middle section of this as well, because you can drop down, fall down that thing, which is probably going to happen. No, managed to get it. So butterfly. Nice, that's cool. That section just there will break, so just be very careful of that. And yeah, just going to try and take out these enemies up top first, just because it just makes life 1,000 times easier if we can get them first. Okay, so that's that. We'll grab this chest. What we got here? Bone cutting saw blade. Nice. Looks very Bloodborne, that. I think this game does take a lot of inspiration from Bloodborne, to be totally fair. I don't know what you think. It's, you know, it's not exactly, but there's some things are quite similar. I'm just going to run straight across here and grab this, because that breaks. You can get that. If you didn't run straight across, you can jump across it anyway if you want to. It's all good. So that's all that section of the rooftop. I don't think there's anything more here until later. So watch out for that trap that I'm probably going to fall in. We got Dargo wanting to join party here. Grab this stuff. We've got this enemy in the middle is quite a tough one. So we're probably going to flame on for this guy. Flame on. Couple of pokes, back up, watch out for the bear trap behind us. Gonna heal up. This guy can pack a massive punch, so try and keep my health topped up on this guy. We've got Fable coming on up, so use the Fable. Charged R2. Didn't get the stance break, unfortunately. Gone into his crazy wombo combo. You can use this thing in the middle if you want to kind of like hide and, you know, defend yourself from it. Patience Amulet. I literally never take this amulet off. It's just the best amulet in the game as far as I'm concerned. So, increases stamina recovery speed. Absolute banger. Yeah, so I basically just have that on most of the time. I'm going to put Carrier's Amulet on here as well. So we've got Patience Amulet, increases stamina recovery speed, and Carrier's Amulet increases weight limit. So that's just basically our stamina just recovers significantly faster. And like I say, I once that's on, I just don't take it off. I think we've got a quartz in here. So pop open this bad boy. Grab the quartz. We shall use that later. Let's have a look how much quartz we got. Just one, so it's all good. Then we're just going to follow this round. We've got a riddle coming on up in a sec. Give this guy the old couple of pokes. I think a dog will jump out. Just be careful. If you haven't played Bloodborne as well, just as a side note here, definitely give it a try. Give it a playthrough when you get a chance, for sure. Although it is kind of trapped in PlayStation 4 territory at the minute, so it's just only PlayStation 4. But yeah, I guess we'll see how we go with the Bloodborne thing. Obviously the IP belongs to Sony, so it's up to Sony what they want to do with the Bloodborne IP. So Sony commissioned, you know, they hired From Software to make Bloodborne for them. So we've got a riddle coming on up here. So check my notes on this one. Alam District. This one is Candle. So answer for this riddle is Candle. There we go. So make sure to press Candle for that. We get a Trinity key. I'm just trying to think back to a previous episode. I don't think we opened the Trinity door in the cathedral, so it's probably good to use it on that one, I think. So on this section here, what we're going to do is drop on down first, then open this shortcut. Grab that, then back up the ladders. So yeah, at the top of the cathedral there was like a Trinity door, but we didn't have a key at that point. So we're probably going to head back there at some point. I need to make sure I remember that. Just gonna grab this stuff. You can jump back over. I open that gate first because if you drop down, it's just easier to get back through if you don't make that jump. So just going to pick up some bits and bobs as we go through. I think what Sony will do, this is just a guess by the way, it's just my my guess on the situation. Watch out for a falling enemy here. I think what Sony will do with Bloodborne is they probably will hold on to the IP of Bloodborne until they release the PlayStation 6. And I think they'll release a PlayStation 6 and they'll do some like amazing remastered, not remastered, sorry, like remake of Bloodborne. I think they'll just do a full Bloodborne remake, you know, from the ground up and launch it alongside the PlayStation 6. Because if anything's going to sell PlayStation 6s, it's going to be Bloodborne remake for sure. You know, they did it with Demon Souls on the PS5, Demon Souls remake. I think you always get caught in a trap here. I'm not sure how it sort of happens, or... Yeah, it does. I'm not sure if there's any way to avoid that. Like, it just kind of... the trap will just kind of spawn and get you. As far as I'm aware, there's no way you can sort of avoid it. Yeah, I always wondered if you can like make the jump across those buildings there, so I always try it, but never succeeded so far. So that was one of the members of the Black Rabbit Brotherhood. We have to fight in a minute. Yeah, the fight's coming up in a sec. It's quite a rough one, like I say. This enemy can also be a nightmare, so just be careful. Back up there, try for a charged R2. Be careful of the stamina. That's why that stamina amulet, the stamina amulet comes in very, very useful. So that is that. Nothing else too crazy in this section. A lot of this area is basically just slice and dice, as you can see. Grab this stuff here. And here. Star fragment. I think that's all there is. Grab this. We're going to grab a shortcut in a sec. Got an enemy that's just a bit late to the party, but there we go. Grab this. Monad Charity House guide. We go to the Monad Charity House a little bit later in the DLC. So we're going to grab that shortcut there, and this merchant here I use like all the time. He sells some really good stuff and it's like decent prices. So this is where basically we get all of the consumables from. So we're going to show the Black Rabbit Brotherhood mark. And purchase. Let's have a look what we can grab. We can get a normal weapon here as well. I'm going to hold on to it for now because it's like 2,000. I don't want to spend that yet. I want to spend it on the abrasives instead. Although we do have a record that I do want to buy as well. Let's see if we can R3 and use some ergo here. I'm going to hold on to those two for now. I'm going to hold on to the dim ergo fragment and hold on to the vivid ergo fragment for now. I'm going to buy the record, 3,800. And ideally we want acid here. So I'm going to buy a few acid. So we're going to go for 3 acid abrasives, 3 electric abrasives, and 3 fire abrasives. Might buy some more, but I think what I'm probably going to do is just check back at Hotel Quartz first. Because we have a quartz, I'm not sure if we can reduce item prices, so we've got the Black Rabbit Brotherhood coming on up. So let's head back to Hotel Quartz. Also, Video Game Warriors, I have released my own video game, Loki the Links. It is available to buy on Steam right now. 2D platformer collectathon, where you got to collect colourful coins and key cards and stuff like that. If you want to support me and you want to support the YouTube channel, please do check out locator links on Steam. I would appreciate it very, very much. Thank you if you do. Okay, so we're back at Hotel Quartz. Let's just have a look at the Stargazer to see any NPCs' faces that might show up. So it says the butler puppet. Sophia's got a little bit of dialogue here, so you can spam through that. I think that's the humanity level that she's referring to there. So we can request appraisal of collectibles, smiling bunny mark, so I picked that up a little bit earlier. So hand that over. That's that for now. Cool. We can't really do anything here. I'm not sure if we can upgrade the puppet string. Let's have a look. We can, so enables dodging after a hit. I don't really tend to use that particular one that often, but the next upgrade is super useful. I think the dodging after a hit is kind of like if you puppet string, you can sort of like, it just allows you to be a bit more sort of flexible like that, if that makes sense. So you can sort of puppet string and then still like continue to use the puppet string as you normally would do, but it allows like a dodge in the middle just to make you a bit more mobile, I guess, on that. So yeah, that's that. Once again, like I always say, drop into the training room and stand still for a sec. Fills up your fable before a boss fight. Always useful to do. Let's see if we can upgrade the weapon. Let's have a look. A little bit of backstory here on Eugenie. We can upgrade the rapier to +6. Let's go for it. And then +7 requires half moonstones, which we don't have. That's fine for now. Okay, so that's all the dialogue there. I think we've exhausted all that dialogue. Have a look here. That's all exhausted. Nice one. I do want to pop in this quartz in a sec as well. No dialogue there.
A great weapon calls for a great warrior.
I think what we will do here, actually, the carry weight does go up a fair bit for this, but I think what we will do is actually grab this one now, which is the Nameless One's Amulet. Has a chance of no pulse cells being consumed. So just keep in mind here with the boss souls, or the boss ergo, you'll notice this one requires Twisted Angels ergo, and also this one requires Twisted Angels ergo. So basically you can only get that trident weapon or this from that ergo, if that makes sense. So you have to make a choice. It's going to be the trident or it's going to be the Nameless One's Amulet. So I'm going to go ahead here and grab the Nameless One's Amulet. So yes on that. And I will be popping that in now. Carry weight goes up quite a bit. We're at 57% capacity, which is quite high, but it's not the end of the world. That's kind of like the downside of these boss amulets, is that they weigh a fair amount. So it's got 8.4 on its weight. But yeah, it is super useful. I mean, it just does exactly what it says on the tin. You know, sometimes you use a pulse cell and it doesn't actually use a pulse cell. It happens like quite a bit. It's not like super rare, but it's not super common. It's like a decent amount that it will happen. Anyway, once again, you need a drill. Just exhaust dialogue, all that type of stuff. We can whip out the old P organ because I think we got 1 quartz to spend. So what I wanted to do was look to see if we could reduce prices. So I'm going to pop it into this one, which we're working towards, which is Enhance Pulse Cell Recovery 2. I'm not sure if we can go item type. No, I don't think we can. So I think we already had reduced prices somewhere. Reduced prices 1. It's here. Yeah, so we can't do it at the minute. That's fine. We'll leave that for now. Have a look what else we can do. Charges Fable when reviving. Lowers damage when using Wishstone. Lowers weapon durability when weight increases. Charge attack stamina consumption. We do use charge attacks a fair bit, so it could be useful. What else we got? Increases pulse cells 3. Increases the maximum number of pulse cells. Yes, absolutely. So that'll come in handy for this next fight. We'll grab that. So now we're rocking 7 pulse cells. As far as I'm aware, that's all the hotel stuff. We could ideally do... This boss fight is essentially a lot easier if you use throw-in cells, throw-in consumables, stuff like that. So, I think what we're going to do is go to Malum District. And then we shall buy a bunch of consumables ready for this boss fight. Also, video game warriors, if you are enjoying this video and this video series, then do please give the video a like, subscribe to the channel if you're not already. I massively appreciate all that support, liking and subscribing and commenting and stuff. It all helps out with like all the YouTube juice and all that good stuff. So yeah, I massively appreciate it. Thank you so much if you do. Thank you. So I'm just trying to scan my brain here for this boss fight. We're going to grab some throwing stuff. If you can use acid stuff, it does really help out on this boss. Let me just put the set up what we're going to use here. So we're going to use... let's just take these off for now so I can get my brain in order. So we're going to use probably fire and acid throwables here. We've got flame on there. We are going to use 3 acid flame-ons, abrasives, because these enemies are classed as like a human type enemy, so humans in this game are weak to acid type damage. So you want to be doing like as much acid type damage as possible, essentially. I'm also going to use... I'm not sure whether to go for throwing cells or shot puts here. The shot puts can be super useful, but I think the throwing cells are probably the better choice, because the throwing cells will do decent damage. The shot put can basically, if an enemy is in like a staggerable state and you can't manage to really get like the charged R2 to connect very well, you can throw a shot put and it will stagger the enemy that's in the staggerable state. So it can sometimes be super useful in certain situations. So shot put could be a good choice here, to be totally fair. But we're going to go for... Let's have a look. So fire throwables and acid throwables first. So let's see how many of those we can buy. So let's go for those. Acid, we want 6 of those. And then, yeah, let's go for 6 of the electric as well. That should do. Like I say, shot put could be super useful as well, but I think we'll choose to go for these. So we've got fire, acid throwables, acid abrasive, and then we have throwable cells as well. So we're going to use like a lot of that stuff in this fight, basically. Don't forget you've got your Legion magazines, you've got your Fable catalysts, and we dropped into the training room and stood still for a sec to get the Fable bars to fill up. Other than that, I think we are good. So let's run into the boss fight and let's have a pop at it. So just going to skip on through here, up top, up this door, and jump straight into the boss fight. Like I say, I am just kind of like doing this in you know, live recording situation. So this could go really, really well. It could also go really, really badly. I guess we'll find out. You could also summon a Spectre into the fight, once again, if that helps with this boss. And don't forget, you can always drop into the difficulty, and you can change it from Legendary Stalker down to whatever, if you want to do that for a boss fight. So feel free to do that. And you can also grind levels and stuff like that. Let's go for it. Cross your fingers, video game warriors. Cross your fingers for me. Let's see how it goes. I'm going to go ahead and skip this cutscene. And let's jump into the action. We're going to use the Acid Abrasive first of all. Use Fable. Start the fight off with a Fable. Apply the acid to him. Ideally, we want to see green numbers on his health if possible. We haven't got at the minute. We'll back up a little bit. So playing it a little bit too spicy there. We go for this enemy. I'm going to try and keep our eyes on the acid abrasive on the status to make sure we've still got acid applied, which we don't. I'm going to focus on this enemy for now. We want acid back on ideally in a sec. So we're going to pop acid back on when we can do. Backstab there. That'll do. We're going to heal up. Acid back on. Go for some throwable acids. Do the acid applied. We'll go for those. I'm going to go for some throwables on this guy. If we can do. Got fire applied to him. We can also do acid damage with our rapier as well. Puppet string to sort of like interrupt there. Although he kind of like jumps away from it, which is a bit of a pain. Watch out for this guy. We're stuck in animation at the minute. Need to get back to pulse cells. Don't forget you can long press, which I just did do. I'm going to go for some throwables now on this guy. Try and get him. Acid abrasive back on. So all we really need to do at this point is just give this guy a couple of pokes. And there we go. That is the fight. So yeah, like I say, a little bit of a rough one. A little bit of a rough fight, not gonna lie. We get an emote there as well. Or a gesture. So that is that one. But yeah, if you do have any questions and stuff about that boss fight, or you want to ask anything in the comments, then please do ask whatever you want to ask in the comments. All good. But for this episode here, Video Game Warriors, we will probably wrap this one up. Thank you very much for watching. I appreciate it very much. Pop a like and subscribe if you're not subscribed already. And I'll see you in the next episode.